Hey guys, HMK once again with some very cool news on Breath of the Wild from an interview with Aonuma and Waypoint. So in this interview, which is a very long one, a really cool read, I'm going to leave it in the description box below, they touch a bit upon the Zelda timeline and where Breath of the Wild could take place. Now don't worry, this isn't spoilers, because Aonuma didn't say exactly where this game takes place in the timeline, only the fact that it does take place in the timeline, and that when you play the game, you'll obviously find out for yourself. It's going to be blatant once you play the game. This is how Mr. Aonuma answered when he was asked about the timeline placement of Breath of the Wild. I wouldn't say that it obviously fits into any one part of the timeline, but if you play the game, you'll be able to work out where it fits. As you probably saw in the trailer, the most recent trailer, there's a woman's voice and she says the history of the royal family of Hyrule is also the history of the Calamity Ganon. And as you know, the Zelda series up until now is a history of repeated attacks by Ganon, so there's food for thought there. I don't want to say anything more, as I like players to work out for themselves and play the game and see what they think. So that's really cool, you know. I'm glad that Mr. Aonuma gave an answer like that to state that this game does take place on timeline, and once you play the game, you're going to find out for yourself. And that's good that a Zelda game like this would be able to, you know, pinpoint where exactly this takes place in the timeline, because I don't want no arguments in the comment section below that, oh, it's going to be, of course it's going to be obvious when you play the game. No, not really, because remember, there's so many theories before the timeline was even solidified, and there's debate about the timeline as it stands right now. So Zelda games did not really put it out there where exactly they took place in the timeline. It was up for debate. Other than sequels that take place right after a certain Zelda game and Skyward Sword, all the other games were pretty much a jumbled mystery for a lot of people, mostly casuals, but people who were able to piece together where they fit. They came up with the child and adult timelines, and then a lot of people got surprised. Well, I knew that there had to be at least 3 timelines because all that stuff didn't make sense with the reveal of a downfall timeline. So it's cool to see Zelda games embrace the timeline a bit more in their games moving forward with Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword, and everything else in between. But as for where I believe this takes place in the timeline, given this information, since Mr. Aonuma said that we should take some food for thought about the repeated attacks by Ganon and that the royal family's history is also the history of the Calamity Ganon, I believe that it takes place long after one of the 3 timelines, and my choice is long after Four Swords Adventures, way in the future of the child timeline. But I got a big video explaining all that coming soon, so I hope you guys are excited for that. So guys, what do you think about this piece of information? Are you glad you're going to be able to figure out the timeline for yourself when you play the game and you're not going to need some like Hyrule Historia or Hyrule Encyclopedia, which is coming out later this year, in order to figure that out? I'm glad Nintendo's doing something like this. And furthermore, where do you guys believe this game will take place in the timeline? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and most importantly subscribe to HMK. We're almost at 100k. If we hit that number, I'll give away a Switch if we hit the number before March. And don't forget, I'm giving away 3 copies of Breath of the Wild. All details are in the description box below. So until the next video, I've been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.